Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Neopets Faerie themed live. I'm your host, TNT Luna. Oh my God, is that teeth sparkling filter on again? Okay, no, it's not. But anyways, I'm TNT Luna. I take she, her, and here at Neopets, I do social media videos. I respond to your Instagram comments. I mainly just like gossip with TNT Fally in my downtime, but I'm so excited to be hosting this live again. I almost didn't come back after learning that Darrigan skedaddle was not meant to rhyme with the word skedaddle. But I'm still back. I braved it despite all of your comments educating me how to say things. I am back and I'm so excited to share some things. We've got so many things planned to tell you on this AMA, from special guests like TNT Jade and a brand new guest you've never seen before, who's been working on the upcoming Faerie Fragments app, as well as an announcement about a new Neopets graphic novel coming out. So stay tuned. And yes, there will be a code at the end of this live. So hope you guys really enjoy. So just to get into the first part of the announcements, this is honestly something I'm really excited to share with everyone. But you may have seen online, if you entered the caption contest or if you're following our Instagram, you may have seen some artwork and that artwork is for the new upcoming Neopets graphic novel called The Omelet Fairy, which releases October 22nd. And this was actually started around the same time as the Neopets cookbook. So the cover art you see on the left, this first sketch was done by the artist Heather Burns around May 2023. And I feel like I'm like 7 years old again, playing like a can you spot the difference pick. But in the cover art, if you were able to catch it in the cover art, there's some differences. The main fairy, the new main character of the book is missing her wings, and that's because she is a gray fairy, not a fire fairy, or not. I don't know. You're just gonna have to read. You're just gonna have to read the tea. And her name, just fun fact, her name initially was Freya, but TNT Aesop sort of was talking with the writers and the team and was like, let's change it to Seraphina. Gorgeous name, I love. And then, another really cool thing is that the people working on this book, our friends over at Andrews McNeil, made sure that every Neopet species was included at least one time in the book. So huge shout out, to the author, Rebecca Mix, obviously, incredible artist, Heather Burns, who was assisted by Luis Fernando da Silva. And as always, editor, Aaron Pascal. I love Aaron Pascal. Oh my God, Aaron, if you're watching this, I might have just pronounced your last name wrong, but that's okay. I've never said it out loud. I just read it on emails. But this is very exciting, and it is available for pre-order. It comes out October 22nd, but because the distributor is Simon & Schuster, like we did with the tarot decks, if you're international, you can just ask your local bookshop to order it for you. So it is available online or literally anywhere books are sold. Now, I have not read a book since the Percy Jackson series when I was 11. But I will be picking up reading again with The Omelet Fairy. And it's honestly, the all art is completely original. This has been in the works for a minute. So if you're interested, definitely go check that out. And oh my gosh, I do not know what this filter on my teeth is, but nobody mentioned it. I'm just gonna hide self-view. So getting into then our first guest to talk about the Faerie Festival, I would love to welcome to the stage TNT Stone.
Hi.
Hey, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I realized I did not say TNT Stone. I'm so sorry earlier, but but so excited to have you here. I've been a huge fan of your work for a while. I think it's just I saw in one of the staff tournaments before I started working here, you were literally just the rock pet. And I was like, I love. But out of curiosity, how did you get your TNT alias?
Yeah. So TNT Stone is my alias, as you can see. It's not really related to anything. When I was younger, whenever I played a game, if I got to name my avatar, I would name them Stone. I just always liked that name. And so when I was told to pick an alias, I thought that'd be perfect.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, totally. Picking something that you sort of grew up with, just that's like me picking my bank pin for anything. I'm like, let me just use the very first street I lived on. Hackers don't come for me. I totally get it. So to the viewers who might not be sort of familiar with your work, could you maybe tell us a bit about what you do here, as well as your journey with Neopets? Just a little introduction.
Yeah, totally. So I've been working with Neopets for a little over 3 years now, which is very weird to say. I feel like I was just hired on. I was first brought on to be a writer for the main storyline of the app Faerie's Hope. I was then brought on to the site as a narrative designer and content creator, which doesn't mean like social media content creator, which also would have been cool, but it meant more like creating stuff for like the content for the site. So like where like stuff your Neopets would wear. And then for narrative design, I would help with the events a lot. And now I'm senior narrative designer, which is also wild for me to say. And now I mainly work on the plot and events alongside Aesop and a lot of other amazing writers.
Oh no, that is so crazy. Like I love how you're like, oh, I feel like I just started working yesterday, but also I'm a senior narrative designer now. But I know you said that you work on site events, and we do have the Faerie Festival coming up soon. So I was sort of wondering if there are any new players who've joined us or people who have been on hiatus. Could you tell us what the Faerie Festival is about?
Yeah, definitely. So the Faerie Festival is a semi-annual event, and it is to celebrate the fairies of Neopia. In the past, it was like a celebration of the presence of fairies in Neopia, but the fairies now like to think of it more as a celebration of Neopia that the fairies hold. And it's got a lot of revamps, so you can do a lot of fun activities like daily fairy quests, spin the wheel of excitement, get soup from the soup fairy, soup. uh, and last year we had recycling, which will sort of be like the same thing this year. It's the same thing, but yeah, it's got a different purpose this year, I guess.
Very cool. My pets are starving. I always have more than what's the limit? Like 200 Neopoints? Like whatever the limit for regular Super is. I'm very excited. She's finally opening the kitchen. As my pets have been eating cockroaches for the last 14 years, so I will be sure to give them a hearty meal. But sort of speaking more on the Faerie Festival, I heard last year was kind of like a wild roller coaster of events because Judora and Illusin were put in charge of the event. Are they still going to be running the event this year, or have we sort of picked some new fairies to run the festival?
Yeah, so while it may have been good to pick new fairies to hold one festival, Fiora said, no, let's hold it again. So she has asked Jadora and Ellison to return. So it will be another year. This year, she's not asking them to work together. She realized that wouldn't work. And she's actually got a new plan for them and is asking them to work separately on purpose this time. So it'll be another year of having to choose between these amazing fairies.
Oh my gosh, very exciting. Yeah, I'm just excited to like be able to get a chance. I know like last year I went with Judora. I'm thinking this year maybe I'll go with Illusin just to shake things up. So then, what can participants expect from the Faerie Festival this year? Have we added any new features? Are there any new quests or surprises in store for the fans?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in Neopia right now, as some may have noticed. So the fairies still find it really important to throw the event this year, but they don't have a lot of time or resources to throw a huge new event. So there will be, while things won't be like drastically different, there will still be a new story for festivals goers to come and enjoy with new yet old faces at the same time.
Okay. I feel like the narrative team always knows how to tease like just enough for me to be insanely curious, but like also excited. I don't know what kind of like training you guys go through when you first join, but anytime I talk to you or TNT Aesop, I'm always like on the edge of my seat, like waiting, like, what do you mean new faces? But
The job of a writer.
just going back, oh yeah. But just going back to the Fairy Festival, why do you think that this is such an important event for Neopians? What makes it special for the community?
That's a good question. Um, I think, for me at least, I think that this event is really special because, as many longtime fans will know, this annual event hasn't really been all that annual. So I think that this event is special because it shows the continued efforts of revitalization for the site. everyone who is working on Neopets right now, they love their jobs, they love the site, they love the community. And I hope that this event and other things that we're working hard to do really shows like how much work we're putting into it to bring back the magic of Neopets and make it even better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. Yeah. I feel like anytime something cool like comes out or you guys do something regular, like there's like the 80% of people being like, wow, I'm so glad like Neopets is committed. And then the other 20 is like, if they were committed, they'd bring back Key Quest. And you're like, dang.
I have no say in
It's
that.
just
I'm
me.
sorry.
No, it's yeah, I have no say either. It's actually just me on like 15 different emails being like, bring back Key Quest. But regardless, super appreciate everything you do and really excited for the Fairy Festival. And I have sort of heard rumors about special fairy themed items or wearables from this event. I think I didn't even do the Fairy Festival last year. I think I just bought the MME because I'm an NCer, guys. I'm an NCer. I just play the NC ball. But can you share any details or confirm sort of what might be available in terms of maybe prizes or new wearables and items?
Yeah. Let's see. So let's talk prizes first, I guess. The prize shops will remain the same this year. So you'll have a chance to check out the other prize shops. So like if you join Team Jadora, you can now join Team Illison. If you really can't break your loyalty, that's fair. There will be a few new prizes in each shop. So if you're new or you're just really wanting to join the same team, you can still look forward to that. And then I guess for you, the NC, the game Free the Fairies will return. And it will have all new prizes. I can't really speak too much on them, give away anything, but the vibe is very fairies, of course, and very like foraging woodland vibes. Think ethereal mushrooms, fairy pets, that sort of stuff.
Okay. No, I was like listening in on a meeting with TNT Miss Rainbow, and I just heard like the word like cottage core dropped, and I was like, "This better be the wearables that like that specific phrasing was dropped." But I'm very excited. You know, I know the art team is very talented. But okay, are there sort of any hints or teases about future events or storylines involving fairies that you can share with us without giving up too
much? Time to be mysterious again. Well, fairies are pretty integral to Neopia, so I'd say any major storylines or events will have fairies in it one way or another. For Fairy Festival, I guess what I can give away is that Jadora and Illison will not be the only fairies to show their faces this time, so you can look forward to seeing some new faces. And for other events and storylines, I'd say if you're not already, go get to know the fairies of Neopia because their stories are going to play a part again soon.
Okay, personal question, personal stake involved. I know that Soup Fairy has not had a name. If you're involving the fairies more, will she get a face reveal? Will she get a name reveal?
So I guess what I can say about that is the Soup Fairy does have a name, but she's keeping it close to the chest at the moment. And I can't say like when it will be revealed, but she will let her name be known soon.
Very, very exciting. My favorite like fun fact is that, and I'm sure you know too, but there is a staff member, TNT Faye, who absolutely like despises, hates the Soup Fairy. So everyone was like, "Oh my god, like we should just name her TNT Faye," but like TNT Faye's like real name, and I like am waiting for the name to drop to see. I just am really hoping it's TNT Faye. I know that it probably won't be, but very exciting.
It is a running joke alongside TNT Faye that they're not a fan of.
Well, that is all my questions for you, but do you have anything else you maybe want to add or share before you go?
I guess just one, thank you very much for having me on. I was a little nervous. I hope that didn't show too much. This is my first time on here by myself. Last time I had other writers to back me up. And just thank you so much to the community and the fans. This has been an amazing job, and I hope that I'm doing justice by y'all, and that I don't even like. I still wake up and I'm like, what's happening? How am I here? And I'm here because of you guys. So thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. Also, I just realized I think we have the same hair color.
Oh yeah,
Which makes me feel very cool. But we love your outfit, we love your work, and we can't wait to see everything and play the Fairies Festival. So thank you so much for coming on.
thank you for having me. Bye.
Not at all. Okay, I'm very excited, and I don't know what this pink filter on my teeth is. I'm gonna have to go to my orthodontist and figure this out. But moving on, I am so excited that we got to have TNT Stone. But this next segment, we will actually be welcoming a new face of TNT, TNT Sparion, as well as TNT Dom, who you know, to chat about the new upcoming Faerie Fragments app and what's been happening behind the scenes. Hey guys! Oh no, Dom! The typhoon. It's actively the typhoon. Dom is actively storming the typhoon, looking for headphones.
Yeah, we're having a typhoon in Hong Kong, actually.
Oh, is it really? Hey, Dom.
Hello. Sorry, dealing with a headphone.
No. We just assumed it was the typhoon. We were like, oh, he's in the eye of the storm. We just assumed.
Oh yeah, getting back into the office by 8 is not easy.
Oh no, I wouldn't know. I'm at home. But you know, so quick question. So for TNT Sparion, since you're sort of new here, and not a lot of players might know who you are, how did you get your TNT alias?
Oh, again, about the alias, well, similar to Stone, it's just a name that I've been using since, I don't know, 20 years ago. Yeah, forever.
Oh,
Whenever I need to choose my name.
No, everybody is choosing their like first online name, and if personally my TNT alias was my very first like username, it would be like TNT Niall Stan 58251. Nobody looked that up, but very cool that you and Stone both had like very normal like, oh, let me just go with something really cool like Sparion. But you know, for those of us that might not be familiar with you and your work, could you maybe tell us a bit about what you do here at Neopets?
Right. Yeah, I work in the product team, in product direction and design. So yeah, anything about new games and new experience and things, well, that would be on me to think about.
Super cool. Yeah. And I know, you know, we just had TNT Stone on talking about the Faerie Festival. And, you know, before I sort of ask you about like you and your role here, I want to ask both of you guys, who will you be choosing or siding with, I guess, for the Faerie Festival around? Like, which side are you going to pick? Dom? Any thoughts who you might choose this year?
Well, I picked Illusion last year, but I think I'm falling for Judora. Well, not only because I want to get the new items or the prize shops, but since starting playing the TCG card, I think the art of Judora has actually been growing on me.
Oh my god, no, I love her art too. And then I remember posting it on the Neopets Instagram, like the Upper Deck Gallery poster, and all the comments were like, Judora feet reveal. And I was like, guys, like, why are we, like, come on, like, this art is so incredible. And people are like, I see Judora's feet. But I agree.
I'm still waiting to pull my full art.
Oh no, I hope you get it soon. You've been opening a ton of booster packs. I really hope you get it.
Only a bit. Trying to control myself.
Oh, totally. No, I know. Whenever I feel like sad, I just like open a new booster pack and I'm like instantly healed. Works wonders. But TNT Sparion, who are you choosing for the Faerie Festival this year?
Well, if you're talking about the two sides, I'm really indifferent. But if I get a choice, I would choose Luxinia if that ever becomes an option.
Okay. I love how you're just like, I don't care unless it's Luxinia. Like that is you're ride or die. It is just her. But speaking of Lixinia, I know she plays a huge role in the upcoming sort of relaunch of the game, Faerie's Hope, known as Faerie's Fragments. So I was wondering if you could sort of maybe tell us a little bit about how you became involved with Faerie's Fragments.
Sure. Yeah, the story goes back to, I guess, last year with the leadership change. We were looking to bring Neopets into the spotlight to more people. And, well, it means practically, on one hand, we'll keep working on neopets.com and further expand the engagement and lore. And on the other hand, we think of the whole brand and do things that, well, would be of value to those who have come across Neopets in the past, and also those who haven't yet had the chance to. So one of these things that we wanted to prepare for the new and old audience outside neopets.com is mobile games. And that would be something that would be enjoyable, fun, and accessible, sticking to our core values. So that's where Faerie Fragments comes into play.
So I remember when Faerie's Hope was taken off the shelf from the App Store, and I've always sort of wondered, what happened to it. And now that it's coming back as Faerie Fragments, and you've been involved in several game expansions and updates, what led you to revisit this older project and decide to relaunch it in a sort of updated form?
Well, it was a good game, and when we're polishing it up, when we looked at what we had, one of the things that caught our attention was Faerie's Hope, really, which some of you might have played. This casual mobile game was rather well received, even though there wasn't a lot of marketing for it. And from time to time, as well as you've asked, people would really ask about the game, what happened to it, and are there more updates coming? And we noticed that being part of the brand assets that we inherited, this game really would help us take another step into expanding Neopets into a broader audience. We think it had a lot to love and just needed a little bit more magic to make it really shine. Thanks to the community who gave us valuable insights and feedback about the Faerie's Hope previously, we were confident that we could improve it with a better gaming experience.
And this is a question for Dom. I have seen a few comments, floating around on social media and maybe even in the chat right now, and people are wondering what happens to their old progress from Faerie's Hope. Since Faerie's Fragment is kind of a fresh start due to, all of the rebuilding work we had to do, will there be a way for players to recover what they had, or is there maybe something special planned for people who supported the original game?
Yeah, so for the progress and everything, originally we wanted to port everything over so that players can continue to progress. But unfortunately, as with everything that deals with Neopets, like there's a lack of planning. There's like the database in the past wasn't really built in a way that's easily portable. And also, as you may know, the Faerie's Hope game was built by kind of like different entities, including kind of like some separate entity from NetDragon background, and also like previously Jumpstart. And there's some lack of planning and communication. So it's really hard for us to. Well, first of all, we don't have access to the previous server data, and we can't really just port them over. And we actually had to rebuild more parts of the game after taking over. So there's some missing pieces where we're able to really get everything over. So we have to kind of like do more like start this as a new game. There's some technical challenges with that as well, but I'm glad we're making it happen and we're launching the game. But unfortunately, the progress won't be able to be carried over. But our team have figured ways to where we can reward or grant like users in the past who played Faerie's Hope, and also especially our players who've played with more progress. We're trying to think of a way to reward them. It will come with extra rewards, and then we'll tie it to Neopets as well. Classic Neopets.com players can also play Faerie Fragments to get extra reward as well. So it's been a great game, and I would love to add a little bit of context, kind of like from from a fundraising perspective, or from we want to build like a better licensing program and attracting more partners and like to work with us, having new mobile games is actually a very important pillar for the whole Neopets IP. Although like most of our effort is still kind of like fixing the classic game, trying to add new features. There are a lot of bug fixes, as we mentioned in the past AMAs. But that just fixing the classic game alone won't be able to help us to attract new partners, because new partners, they always ask about, okay, so what's your plan for the future? Are there going to be new games? Are there going to be new content? As an IP, if we only have one classic game, we will only be kind of like serving the core community that is still playing Neopets. But a lot of lapsed users won't be coming back for the classic game because, well, honestly speaking, there's a hurdle for returning users to play a game that's 25 years old. And then it's really hard to attract new generation of players with only classic Neopets.com. So that's the reason why we still have to invest into bringing some of these mobile games and launching and refresh it, improving the gameplay. Is really about expanding the Neopets IP, attracting more users to come back so that we have enough resources eventually to really build more for Classic, but also build more for Neopets as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I always forget that like I've been playing Neopets since I was way younger, and so whenever I try to like convince my friends to join, they're like this looks old. But I do feel, you know, maybe if I get them involved in like rebuilding Fairyland, or you know, the story about like Lixinia, I could totally see them downloading a game and an app, you know, versus, you know, just like the hurdle it is to like join a full-on world and economy in the classic site. That is very cool. And, you know, if we're expanding the Neopets IP, you know, multiplayer key quests like Mario Party style, I'm here for it. Maybe one day I'm here for it. But thank you so much for providing that insight. And to the viewers who are commenting about, you know, their Faerie's Hope progress, I know that like our team is just working really hard to make things like right and help the players out. So thank you so much. But then now I have a question for TNT Sperion. So are there any upcoming updates or content you're excited to share with the community? Maybe when can we expect to be able to play the game?
Upcoming. Well, the game will be available for pre-registration on App Store and Google Play on the 24th of September as part of the Faerie Festival. So you can expect to play it sometime in October. A few weeks after that.
Okay, I'll clear my schedule. I will clear my schedule. More importantly, I will clear off the memory on my iPhone because it is always like storage full, but I will make space for you personally. And you know, I always want the tea. And I don't know if you can tell me, but if you can, are there going to be any Easter eggs? Are you generally like a fan of adding Easter eggs into games in general? You know, will there be little things that we can look for?
Well, that's for you to find out. We all like a little bit of extra fun, don't we?
I love how you're like, that's for you to find out, and I will most likely be like reading the Jelly Neo, like of like things you missed, because I have never played a game without a walkthrough. Like I think the only game I've ever finished was like Pokemon Leaf Green, and people were like, take a step to the left and find a potion, and I was like, I don't know how people found this like very hidden item. So I'll play it, but I'm definitely gonna miss a lot. So shout out to the community who always finds things. I really hope that you guys keep an eye out for those Easter eggs. And, you know, so you said that it's coming up in September and October, and that's actually very soon. But I think the team has something else in store for the launch of the game. Right, Dom? Like, can you maybe share what we might be doing in terms of the launch?
Yeah, so in terms of launch, we'll start with the pre-registration on the 24th. And then we're trying to unlock more kind of like items and rewards determined by how the total number of users who pre-register. So it's kind of like a Kickstarter campaign. We want to encourage our users to spread the words to the community and to their friends and family to play this new kind of like match 3 game, well, reimagined match 3 game. So more details will be announced when pre-registration opens, but we're very excited about the changes that we've made and then the polishing that we've made. So we're hoping to bring kind of like a brand new experience to people who haven't played Faerie's Hope yet. But even for previous players, I think there will be new Easter eggs and kind of slightly new a lot of new levels and also new gameplay that you can look forward to.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, super excited. And I know that I will be pre-registering early to get those prizes. But thank you so much for joining us today. I know TNT Spirio, you were like a little bit nervous, but we're just so grateful to have you sort of speak on. It's very cool to have like the actual developers on the game. Normally, I would just be having Faerie on, but we're so excited to have you here. And, you know, I know that you were a little bit nervous and a little bit shy, but thank you so much for coming on and sharing those exciting updates. So we will see you maybe again soon, but thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Oh,
well,
hey,
I'm still very
Dom.
nervous every time I come on, so.
No. I know I always mess up constantly, and then I always reread the recaps after, and I'm just like, man, I don't remember saying that, but I guess I did. But how have you been? So you're storming the typhoon in Hong Kong, so you're back in Hong Kong, but I know you were in LA for a bit.
Yes, I've been back in Hong Kong since a month ago, and gladly not that much travel for the next month or two. So it's good. But yeah, Hong Kong is like typhoon season, and it's a super typhoon forming up, and there's no school for kindergarten today. But yeah, I'm glad I made my way to the office, but now I'm safe and all good.
Oh, no school for kindergarten, so I will not be going to class. But I know when you were in LA, you went to the Neopets warehouse, and we sort of did a video on it. If you guys haven't seen it, go enter the giveaway. But I wanted to ask you, Dom, personally, actually, was there anything cool or crazy that you found in the old Neopets warehouse? Because this was your first time visiting, right?
Yeah, so I'm glad I made my way to the warehouse, spent like almost like a full day there tidying up and do some store counts. And well, I'm glad the footage that I provided, it's just pretty well received. I think my favorite part of my discovery would be kind of like the Lord Cass costume that I saw, and definitely amazed by that. And I know how Lord Cass is like one of the most beloved characters, and we'll see what we can do with it.
I feel like beloved is like a very nice way to put it, because I just talked to the Amanda Files, and I know that beloved is not the word that like she would use, but I love that. What would we have to do to see sort of TNT Dom in the cast costume? Is that an option? Like, would you maybe at the next con would you sport the costume? I don't know. What do we have to do?
Actually, I'm not sure if it's a costume or is it like a full-size display. Actually.
Oh.
And probably it's probably a lot of cleaning and fixing needs to be done, but we'll see.
Okay, there's only one way to find out if it's a costume or not. We will be trying it on. One like, and I will try it on. But that is really cool. And okay, before I get into the AMA, I do have one like personal question for you. So I always ask people how they got their TNT alias, and I was wondering if you were not TNT Dom, like just your real name, would you choose something different for your alias? Were there any other options when you were choosing your TNT name, or did you just have you always just gone with like Dom?
Well, so Dom is like my go-to name, even on when I play a lot of online games. So when I mean, Dom is short for Dominic. I'm not very creative, to be honest. I thought about using other alias. Some alias that was in the pool was like, for example, like Altador. I used to use Altador in the Discord, but I feel like it's a little bit too impersonal, so I kind of like change it back to Dom.
The search indexing for TNT Altador would also be horrible because it's already like something in the IP. That's why I was gonna do like Slorg or something, but then I was like, I can't do that because it's already something. But I feel you. Okay, that is very interesting, and I'm glad that people Finally, no, the mystery unveiled what Dom is short for. I thought it was short for like Domulus or something. But getting into the AMA, we have a few questions from the last AMA that were really popular that we didn't get a chance to answer, that some people even like re-asked this time around, as well as some questions from our latest straw poll. So I'm just going to ask you the questions in order as per usual. So the first question is, are there any plans to make the previous art versions of pets into nostalgic pet styles? So using the Acura as an example, the current nostalgic pet style for the Acuras in the styling studio, known as version 5, is known sort of like as version 5, but will the previous NC pet style tokens like Faerie and Darrigan ever be rotated back in?
Yeah, so we do have plans to bring back these previous art versions. We've seen a lot of excitement around this idea, and I'm glad you brought it up. And like popular colors like Faerie, Darrigan, Royal, they'll be rotated back over time. And just like what we did with the gray set, where we release it to all 55 species, we're looking to expand on some of these nostalgic sets to offer kind of like a more complete and diverse range of options. So making it fun for everyone. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, what's your personal favorite?
Well, I only have one. I was never a big like UC pet trader because you can't like really customize them. I'm a huge fan of like the fists because it can like hold really cute items. But the only one that I really, really liked was the unconverted Fairies We Talk. But I will have to say that I know that a lot of players have been requesting like the old art. Like, you know, when like the Bruce was just like that guy. People have been requesting.
I'm not
like,
sure we're legally
old...
allowed to do that.
No, we definitely probably can't. But some of the older ones, I wonder if we'll ever bring them back. That would be very cool. But I'm not really looking forward to anything. I got the one that I wanted. The rest is like, if they can't hold anything, I'm outie. I do really think they're cute though. I always admire the designs.
Awesome. Well,
is there any one that you really like? Is there one that like? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I like Royals. They're cute. I mean, I also like Mutants. But yeah.
like I like Royals because they're cute and Mutants because they're cute. Two very different pet styles, but I'm here for it.
They're very distinct, yeah.
So then the second question is about the Altador Cup. And I know this year we did experience some hiccups here and there, but are there any plans to update or overhaul the Altador Cup? The current format hasn't really changed. And a lot of people, even though we like lowered the caps and like balanced things again, people sort of found the day-to-day gameplay unfulfilling.
Yeah, so that's definitely something we wanted to change. I'm sure it can definitely use a bit of a refresh. And Altador Cup, to be honest, like to me, it's a bit too grindy. And I'm sure a lot of our users, like players, really find it grindy, but because of the prize or because of it's kind of like the tradition where a lot of people still play on. We didn't have the resources or time to really have a major overhaul this year, unfortunately, but we do try to, like we did do some rebalancing, making it less grindy, trying to make it a little bit more enjoyable this year. We have introduced a new team, fixing some bugs such as like the slushy slinger. But to be honest, like we probably gonna do like a better overhaul for next year. Like we're also considering whether it should be like, okay, do we still need Altador Cup, or should we change the format, or is there a better way to make this more fun and enjoyable with our community? So yeah, we're definitely planning ahead for next year. For this year, to be honest, we're quite tied up with the new plot, a lot of the big fixes that we're doing. The payment system upgrade, also like the new like security features that are happening in the back end. So there's been a lot of like these higher priority items that we've been working on. But we're in the next few months and the coming year, we're definitely having a lot more time and resources will be put on improving our gameplay, fixing some of the tech debt. So that would be kind of like the major focus for the coming quarter and earlier for next year. So hopefully our users and the community can witness that very shortly.
Yeah, I know that the Altitude Cup is like almost over basically, but there was a lot of feedback from the players that we saw, and from our site events community ambassador and like the other ambassadors, and I promise you guys we have like taken all of that and like written it down and passed it along to the team, and we're aware, and that's all sort of being taken into consideration when it comes to revamping the Altitude Cup. I know you were like, should we even have it at all? That's crazy. I I would kind of be down to not have that, not have the shootout showdown goalie haunting me. Because
Yeah, it's
I'm
kind
like
of like
not
the list is so long. It's like,
the list
should
is
we
so long.
be the list is so long, and like, can we incorporate all that to make it fun, or should we just build something from scratch, or should we do
Totally.
something completely different? So yeah,
Yeah,
everything's
because
an
I'm not
option.
like
So I mean, let us know. Let us know. We'll definitely. I mean, some people do enjoy Outdoor Cup, and it is a 20-year tradition, which is interesting to have a same event to be running for 20 years. So do we want to change that? Would that antagonize a part of our user base? So these are things that we're always questioning ourselves, but let us know and we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, guys, let us know. I mean, I know it's been a thing for 20 years, but I think the difference is that like I'm not 11 on like summer break anymore. Like I have to work like my day job, which is fortunately Neopets, and then my night job, which is like the AC. And it's just like I'm not like 11 during the summer, being able to do absolutely nothing but like sling slushies. But we'll listen to the players, and we have already been looking at things. So I will just go into the third question because I feel like, we've talked about this a bit. But the third question is, the new wave mechanics in the Battle Dome is great, but can we expect to see this used after the plot?
Yeah, so definitely, that's why why we're experimenting with new features with the plot, is also to explore things that we want to upgrade for the game in the long run. So I'm glad everyone's enjoying this new wave mechanics in the Battle Dome. So it was designed for the for within plot, but to be honest, we've designed it in a way that is kind of like a testing ground, and it seems like it's well received. So we're planning to kind of like put that feature into the Battle Dome and keep it more fresh and engaging in the future. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. No notes, absolutely no notes. Then the fourth question is, will you ever make the odds of, mystery capsules public? It is against the law in many countries to not address this due to this sort of like predatory mechanics of gotcha.
Yeah, so we're aware of these regulations, and we believe that we should be public, like announcing this, so that our players have all the information they need. A lot of other games already do that, and I think it's the industry standard. So we definitely going to be moving into that direction to be fair and compliant.
Okay, cool. Yeah, short and sweet, no notes. I just opened at this point, like I don't think I open mystery capsules because I want what's inside. I just open them to open them. But this would actually be really good. Okay, then the fifth question is, will the site be updated to a more recent PHP version? So currently it's running on PHP 5.4, which is outdated.
Yeah, so yeah, we understand that we're running on an older version, but it's kind of like it's like the foundation and the engine that keeps the site running smoothly. Like upgrading to a newer version is not that easy, or is really hard to do it like kind of like without some major overhauls. And it's kind of like how like some, I don't know, some airline systems uses like Windows 3.0 or something, and that kept them safe for some time. But like for us, it's kind of like similar situation. It's like a very like old kind of a foundation that we're building on top. Over the past decade of it, to be honest, we haven't been upgrading anything. And then now there's only patches over patches. And then if we want to kind of like upgrade the foundational layer, it's kind of like we're worried that everything will just fall apart. So it's going to be it's going to be a huge task. So as I've mentioned in the past, when we try to update our backend, we try to like kind of like upgrade kind of like the more standalone features, complete overhaul, like the login system with Neopets, and then with the payment system, we're changing the middleware, and then we can build a new new payment flow on our own. So we're trying to do that piece by piece. So I mean, right now our teams are all hands on a lot of like security upgrades and the backend kind of like upgrades. But a PHP update is not a top priority, but it's something that we know about, and maybe when the time comes, we can kind of like update it. But we're not, we don't see it as like something that's urgent, but we know that it's important.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember reading this question and I like Googled what PHP was. That's why I'm a marketing girly, and this is an answer for you and the product team to give. But honestly, thank you so much. I know that, you know, sometimes a lot of what we do behind the scenes seems like small, but it's a big step to sort of revamp like things like the payment processor and like the login before we can even get to the bigger things. But moving on to the next question, the question is, could you clarify the process for the upcoming pet purge? Will pets, I know that there was like an article that the wording was kind of weird, but will pets on abandoned accounts be dropped into the pound, or will they be just deleted so you can completely like remake them? What are sort of like the implications of the purge?
Yeah, so I think there's still a lot of design to be done with how the whole purge process would work. There's a couple of things that we need to balance, but I think starting from kind of like the purge criteria, we were trying to see what should be kind of like inactive for how long, and then whether the other factors, whether it's like a former premium user or a banned user or a frozen user like that. So we need to take those into consideration. And then whether we do it kind of like over a few days, over a few weeks, or all at once. So the reason of us doing a purge is like we have like a user base of 150 million registered user base. And then purging means that we can kind of like free up some server space, making a lot of like the queries on our back end lighter. So we'll improve the server speeds and improve the overall kind of like the lagging issue that we're seeing on our site. So that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to do a purge, and also kind of make some of these like old pet names available. And that's also another reason why we need to have a well-designed program, so that like not all names just release at once, and then I'm sure like our server will kind of crash when everyone is trying to claim those like pet names. So that's why we need to design a better mechanics to see how we can re-release these pet names that are associated with the purge accounts. So that's kind of what we've been happening in the back end, and there's a lot of discussions going on internally, and we're also getting a lot of like feedback and advices on how to do this in a more kind of like coordinated manner, so that it won't be like a hot mess.
So I know you sort of said that like names will be available for users to create. So like will the name be deleted and then we can like recreate the pet? Is that sort of where we're leaning right now, or is it like sort of you will just have to adopt like the pet from the pound?
Yeah, so I think what will happen is like these names will become available for us to create
perfect.
once it's freed up. But the other questions that's related to that, so do we need to create more pet slots so that users and players can kind of like create new pets without having the constraint of not having available slots, but things like that. It's kind of like so it's like one thing leads to another, so it's like kind of a huge program. So we're still in the design phases. Like the purge itself is actually pretty easy to do, but it's all these kind of like other decisions that comes with it after the purge is what we need to design better.
Like the infrastructure. Yeah. Oh, totally. It's like a domino effect. I also thought TNT Dom was short for domino for a little bit. But totally. Well, thank you for answering the community's questions. Is there anything else that you would like to address that you've maybe been seeing come up in the community lately?
Yeah, so I think so there's a lot of discussion going on regarding like the pound chat. So I'm quite aware of the recent freezing and the claims that our players and some of the concerns. So I think I need to make it clear that it's not true that we have a freeze first and ask later policy. I think there's some rumor going around that we do that. And then I want to reassure the community that we don't make freezing decisions lightly. From my understanding, I think we've only frozen kind of like a handful of accounts in the past week or two. And then I understand there has been some potentially wrongfully frozen accounts. So we are looking into those claims, and we're investigating whether it's our policy or whether it's the evidence that we're looking into. We'll update the community as we hear more. And then part of this process, we're also evaluating our freezing policy and unfreezing policy. For example, I know our current policy doesn't allow us to provide kind of like the exact freeze reason to the user. In a way, it might feel unfair. It's hard for the user to provide evidence to defend themselves. But I believe we need to balance the fact that if we review too much, it will also make it easier for scammers and offsite traders, pet buyers to get around of how we do our investigation. So those are the main reasons of why we have our current policy. So since last July, we've already kind of like refreshed our unfreezing policy, making it easier for wrongfully frozen accounts or previously frozen accounts for users to claim their account back. And then we're also a lot more transparent about like our freezing policy in terms of like how long will accounts be frozen for, and then like if we actually find the right evidence. But I want to reassure everyone that so first of all, we don't do like the VPN mass ban and mass freezing. That's not true. We don't make freezing decisions lightly. Every freezing decision is made on a case-by-case basis. But I do understand that sometimes like we do make mistakes. So we are reviewing our freezing policy relating to the recent kind of like pound chat kind of like claims, and see if we missed anything or if there's like some loopholes that has been being taken advantage of. So rest assured, we're looking into that. And I've personally read up on a lot of these comments, a lot of these kind of like claims. We'll probably by the next AMA we can have an update on that. If not, we're probably even going to have an announcement sooner to release what we found.
Yeah, awesome. I know that every AMA we sort of, not every AMA, but like past AMAs we've mentioned like, oh, by the way, we don't do VPN freezings, and oh, by the way, like we brought on like more CS staff and we're training them. But just to remind you guys that like this is like we're constantly fixing this process. And thank you, Dom, for reading those comments and sort of addressing that now. I know I was seeing a lot of comments about the pound chat, and I hope to see you in the next live with an update. But thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Good luck with the typhoon. I can't believe Dom isn't short for like domino or something. I really thought it was Domulus. Anyways, moving on to wrap up the live. I know that some people in the Discord already guessed the code, but that's fine because we're just gonna share the code. Thank you to everyone for joining today. We're putting up this code, and it will only be available for 48 hours. So head to Grundo's warehouse, maybe like stagger yourselves and redeem it. And we will see you guys in the next one and on our LinkedIn, which you should be following, as well as other social media. Thank you guys. Bye.